Have a good day, dear students. My name is Mayuri Karya. I hope you all are well at your home. Today we will see the part 3 of Chapter 2, Standard-7, Social Science, History, Ncert book. The book name is Our Past-2. In this we will see Chapter 2, New Kings and Kingdoms. We have already completed 2 parts of this chapter. Let's we see the quick recap that previously what we have completed. Previously we have seen in a map the major dynasties which has been emerged in the India. Next we have seen the topic the emergence of new dynasty. So how the emergence of new dynasty been possible that we have seen. So first they have said that Samantas means subordinate of the king. Over the time they have means increased their circle of region and has been Mahasamanta and then asserted their independent kingdom and become the overlord. Next one means second one procedure they said and given the example the subordinate to the Chalukyas of Karnataka a Rashtrakuta chief Dantidurga has performed the ritual of Hiranyagarbha with the help of Brahmin. And it is said that it is a rebirth of the Kshatriya and by this means he has been a king. Third procedure they said that Maurya Sharman and Gurjar Pratihara means Kadamba Maurya Sharman and Gurjar Pratihara Harichandra were Brahmins, means these two peoples were Brahmins. But they have given up their profession and accepted Kshatriya as a profession and has been king and established the Karnataka and Rajasthana kingdom. Then main topic we have seen administration in the kingdom. Now king in a different way people have been started to be a king. So how the people were administrate their kingdom that we have seen. So firstly the people said that they were conquered different regions and get more and more revenue. And however means they started to get the means conquered the different region, they got their title as Maharajadiraj or Tribhuvana Chakravarti. They were taking help to do the administration of peasants, traders, Brahmins, Samantas, etc. They are giving right to these people to collect the revenue. Revenue was the means revenue or tax means tax is the most one of the means source to collect the revenue. For example, the people said in Chola kingdom in Tamil Nadu there were 400 types of taxes they were collect from the people. So these one is the major means source of the revenue. Prashastis and land grants. Prashastis contains details that may not be literally true. Why it is being said Prashastis means whatever has been written in the praise of king. Okay. So means these Prashastis are being written by king's own scholar or Brahmins. So obviously the people will write many good things in a great manner for a king. So somehow it is not means for worthy in which manner it has been written. That's why it is telling that it is not probably means everything true. But still means Prashasti is a means helpful source to know about the king. Then they have means for this case study we have seen the achievements of Nagabhatta. In achievements of Nagabhatta means has been written that Nagabhatta was a Prashasti of Gupta ruler Samudragupta last year. Okay, so means last year we have also read the means Prashasti of the Samudragupta, which has been written by the Hari Sen. Here we are seeing the Nagabhatta means achievements, means whatever the achievements he got in his life. So they have seen the king of Andhra, Sindhava, Vidarbha, Kalinga. Okay, and as a prince, how means which places he has been got? He won victory over the Chakrayudh, the king of Kannauj. He defeated the king of Vanga, the part of Bengal, Anarta, the part of Gujarat, Malwa, the part of Madhya Pradesh, Kirata, forest peoples, Turk people, Vatsa, Matsya, both kingdom in the North India. So means as a prince he won on this much people victory, and how much places he has been conquered, that has been written in this Prashasti. So obviously this Prashasti gives the information about his achievements, or we can say at that time who were means king of this much places. So Nagabhatta we can see. Now, when scholars or Brahmins were writing Prasasti in a praise of kings, so kings were rewarded them with a land. So they are means king granted them a land. Whatever the land has been granted to that kings, that Brahmins or scholars, they have to maintain that land, and they have been given the right to collect the taxes from that places. Okay, they have to see the welfare of the land also, they have to maintain the means land also, and they are having the right to collect the revenue also. Now next we had seen another case, means one case study, a closer look to the Cholas. Okay, so how Cholas came on a power. So they are telling the major chiefly family known as Matyavar held power in the Kaveri Delta. Means sorry, these people means having a power in a Kaveri Delta. They were subordinate of the Pallavas king. And time by time they got the power and they came on the throne and has been called the Cholas. Okay, so now their main means place was at the time when they were chiefly family of the Kaveri Delta. Their main center of the place is Uriyaur. Then means they have been came on throne and they have been called the Cholas. Their main center is Thanjavur. Okay, when they means establish their kingdoms, they have started to build splendid temples and bronze sculptures. So here they have means in a picture had been given the means picture of Thanjavur temple and a bronze sculpture of that temple. Okay, so up to here we have completed. In next we will see agriculture and irrigation. Now how the people were maintain agriculture and irrigation, that we will see. Agriculture and irrigation. Many of the achievements of the Cholas were made possible through new developments in agriculture. Look at map 2 again. Okay, so let's just see here in map 2, whatever the small tributaries you can see in a blue line, this is the branches of Kaveri. Okay, so what the people were telling, notice the river Kaveri branches off into several small channels before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. So that blue lines we have seen in the map, that are the main small channels of the river Kaveri. These channels overflow frequently, depositing fertile soil on their banks. Water from the channels also provide the necessary moisture for agriculture. particularly the cultivation of rice. Means these channels are means having a flow of water, so means water is always helping in irrigation, so most of the bank of these rivers are fertile. Okay, although agriculture had developed earlier in other parts of Tamil Nadu, it was only from the 5th or 6th century that this area was opened up for large scale cultivation. Forest had to be cleared in some regions, land had to be leveled in other areas. In the delta region, embankment had to be built to prevent flooding, and canals had to be constructed to carry water to the field. In many areas, 2 crops were grown in a year. Okay, so means they have in many facilities. Whatever the banks are not leveled, means whatever the areas of this river banks is not leveled, they have leveled. They means have maintained the means irrigation facilities. In most of the means tributaries of Kaveri is having a water in a great manner, so this helped them to do the cultivation, especially for the rice. Okay, in many cases it has necessary to water crops artificially. A variety of methods were used for irrigation. In some areas, wells were dug. In other places, huge tanks were constructed to collect rainwater. Remember that irrigation works require planning, organizing labors and resources, maintaining these works, and deciding on how water is to be shared. Most of the new rulers, as well as people living in villages, took an active interest in these activities. Okay, so means the people have planned well for irrigation work. Okay, organizing labor and sources, also maintaining this work and deciding to how the water is to be shared. Means with understanding the people were doing the work. Now administration of the empire. Which empire? Chola Empire. Right now we are studying about the closer look of Cholas. Okay, so we are doing the means we are learning the case study of Cholas. The administration of the empire. How was the administration organized? Settlements of the peasants known as Ur, means whatever the places the people were used to live, that is called the Ur. Means home, in a Tamil language, for whom the people were using the word Ur, became prosperous with the spread of irrigation agriculture. Groups of such villagers formed large units called Nadu. Means more like we people are means having a large places village na, means large group of people living in a place that is called the village. So for village the people were using the word Nadu. The village council and the Nadu had several administrative functions, including disbanding justice and collecting tax. So means head persons were doing the most of the work, that justice and for collecting tax. Rich peasants of the Valla caste exercised consider control over the affairs of the Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. Means there is a caste, that is Vellas, means that is they are rich peasants of the place. Okay, so they exercised considered control over the affairs of the Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. Means whatever the problems are there, they are supervising that, and they are means in their under control all that things in the center of the Chola government. Okay, who were handling the rich peasants of the Vela caste. Okay, the Chola kings gave some rich landlords title like Movendar Velan, a Velan or peasant serving 3 kings, Arayar means chief, etc. as the markers of respect, and entrusted them with important offices of the state at the center. Means many people are getting titles like a Movendar Velan, means they people are serving 3 kings. or Ryer, that means they are a chief of the land. Okay, so they have been given respect in this manner. Next one, types of land. Okay, in Chola kingdom, types of land they have been described. Chola inscription mentions several categories of land. Valenvagai, the land of non-Brahmin peasants, proprietors, means the land belonging to the means non-Brahmin peoples. Okay, that is called the Vellavagai. Now, Brahma Madhya, so land gifted to the Brahmins. That lands has been granted to the means by the kings to the Brahmins. Okay, in Brahmins were writing the precious things. Okay, in behalf of that, or for that reward, means we can say that for that the people were rewarded with a land grant. So whatever the lands belonging to the Brahmins, that is called the Brahmadeya. Now Salabhoga, the land for the maintenance of a school, means for school whatever land has been granted, that is called the Salabhoga. Now Devadana Tirunam land gifted to temples. For temples specifically land has been granted, that is called the Devadana or Tirunamuttakani. Now Pallichandam, land donated to Jaina institutions, means Jainas were established viharas and everything. Okay, for their means prayers and everything. So whatever the land has been granted to Jaina people, means those who people following the Jainism, they are following the Jaina religion. Okay, for that means land has been granted, that is called the Pulichannadam. Now next we have seen the Brahmins often received land grants or Brahmadeya. As a result, a large number of Brahmana settlements emerged in the Kaveri Valley as in other parts of the South India. Each Brahmadeya was looked after by an assembly or sabha of prominent Brahmana landlords. These assemblies worked very efficiently. The decisions were recorded in detail in inscriptions, often on the stone walls of temple. Associations of traders known as Nagaram or also occasionally performed administration function in towns. Means those who are traders, they are also having their particular association, that is called the Nagarams. Inscriptions from the and whatever the land has been granted to the Brahmins, they are going to be maintained in an efficient manner, okay, by that Brahmins. Now next one, inscriptions from Uttar Merur in Chinnagalput district, Tamil Nadu, provide detail of the way in which the Sabha was organized. The Sabha had separate committee to look after irrigation work, gardens, temples, etc. Okay, so in this Sabha, the people are mainly focused on the means issues for the irrigation work, garden, temples, etc. Name of this eligible to be members of this committee were written on small tickets of palm leaves and kept in earthenware pots, from which a young boy was asked to pick the tickets one by one for each committee. Okay, so means for this means the people are writing a small tickets means small chits and keeping in a earthen pot, and they have to choose by randomly, and on that the people are taking the decisions, or means they are doing the work. Now here is given the inscription and tax. Means at that time whatever the inscriptions has been written, here one inscription has been given for a case study. The working of the Sabha according to the Uttar Merur inscription. All those who wish to become members of the Sabha should be owner of land from which land revenue is collected. Means they should be having a land. Means whatever the person are a member of this Sabha, they should have a land. Means king has to be granted land to them. Okay. And means they should collect the revenue also from there. They should have their own homes. Means they should have their own homes. They should not be live on a rented or okay. They should be between 35 to 70 years of age. So age limit has been also means decided. They should have knowledge of the Vedas. Means as the people were Brahmins, they should have knowledge of Vedas. They should be well versed in administrative matters and honest. Means they should be having a knowledge for administration work also. If anyone has been a member of any committee in the last 3 years, cannot become a member of another committee. Means one person can be a member of only one committee, not for another committee. Anyone who has not submitted his accounts as well as those of his relatives cannot contest the election. Means those who have already submitted their accounts, means once become a member for 3 years, they cannot be a member for again. Okay. Now while inscriptions tells us about king and powerful man, here is an excerpt from the Periyapuram, a 12th century Tamil work which inform us about the lives of an ordinary man and woman. On the outskirts of the Odanur was a small hamlet of Polyas, a name used for a social group considered outcast by Brahmins and Velals, studded with small huts under old techis and inhabited by agrarian laborers engaged in manual occupations. In the thresholds of the huts covered with the strips of leathers, little chickens moved about in the groups. Dark children who wore bracelets of the black iron were prancing about crying little puppies. In the shade of the Marudu means Arjuna tree, a female labor put her baby asleep on a sheet of a leather. There were mango trees from those branches, drums were hanging and under the coconut palms in little hollows on the ground. Tiny handed bitches lay after the whipping. The red crested cocks covered before dawn, calving, and the brownie pulier means plural of their day's work. And by day, under the shade of the kanji tree, spread the voice of the wavy hired Pufaya women singing as they were husking paddy. Okay, now here means given the description of a normal people life. That means they have said that there is a small hut in means the people are keeping the chickens and small children are playing under the tree. A lady has been sat with his small baby and there means the daily work has been described, and they are telling means that lady is husking means green paddy. Okay, so means everything means has been described the normal life of people in this inscription. Okay. So in Chola's life means we have seen about the kingdom, but in one inscription we have seen about the even normal people life also. Okay, now here is China under the Tang dynasty. Means first we have seen the Chola dynasty case study. This is of the means India. Now we will see the China under the Tang dynasty. Means we will see the what was the means scenario of outer places of the India. In China, an empire was established under the Tang dynasty, which remained in power for about 300 years, from the 7th to 10th century. Its capital, Zan, was one of the largest cities in the world, visited by Turks, Iranis, Indians, Japanese, and Koreans. The Tang Empire was administered by the bureaucracy, recruited through an examination, which was open to all who wished to appear for it. This system for selecting officials remained in place, with some changes till 1911. In what ways was the system different from those prevalent in the Indian subcontinent? Bureaucracy means a king is asserting his son as a king. That is called the bureaucracy. Means in a traditional way kings are being chosen. Okay, so means they have given the scenario of China under the Tang dynasty. Means business and trades has been extended up to means India, Japan, Korea, Turk, Iran, because the people have been visited this place. His center city is means too much largest in that in the world, that is Zhang city. Okay, empire has been administrated in the bureaucracy, means king is giving throne to his son only. Means officials are being selected on the basis of their means we can say capabilities. Okay, so here they have means given the scenario of China under the Tang dynasty. Today we have completed our chapter here. In next lecture we will see the mind map and means important notes of the chapter. Okay, thank you so much.